is Tyree Johnson. Tyree is going to present Toastmasters International, the Leader Excellence Series. It's a set of presentations addressing the subject of leadership. Members will learn about the skills they will need to be successful leaders inside and outside of Toastmasters. The world needs strong, competent leaders now more than ever before. Effective leaders are needed not only in government and industry, but in our communities and civic organizations as well. Even in Toastmasters, the difference between a successful club and an unsuccessful club is the quality of leadership within the club. Leadership abilities are not inherited. That means we all have hope. Just like communication skills, leadership skills are learned and honed through experience by facing challenges and learning from failures and successes. Tyree, as your presenter today, will offer some of his own unique insights of coaching leadership in conjunction with the material. He has been a member of this club. He's been a member of District 57 Toastmasters since 2001. He's a charter member of this club, which means he helped start the club. He has served in an officer position with many clubs as well as in the district leadership. He's been district governor and also lieutenant governor of education and marketing. Please welcome Tyree Johnson as he presents the Leader Excellence Series, The Leader as Coach. Welcome, Tyree.
Thank you, Justin. Fellow Toastmasters, people at the camera, guests. The Leader as Coach. You heard that song by, I think it's John Fogerty, Put Me in, Coach. Well, as a leader, and I thank you, Steve, for giving us that segue of you wanting to be able to coach others and never having that experience, is what will make this presentation very relevant. I hope that all this material will be explicable to anyone thinking about doing something in the servant leadership position. There's some universal principles in terms of being a coach. And that is because a coach is usually leading a team, a squad, or organization in a certain direction. Everything that Steve talked about today was very, very relevant in talking about the 6 principles. And one area of improvement that he thought he'd like to really concentrate on was direction. Providing clear direction in any organization means that you know what the end result is going to be. You have a vision bounded by your values of the direction you want to go. The 49ers, their direction is to get to the Super Bowl, right? Manchester United is to win the Premier Cup. When we have the World Cup of soccer, is to win that Golden Globe. There are a lot of different things, and certainly sports is one. You can move into politics if Hillary's going to run for president, and so on down the line. But there is a clear direction of where you want to go. You can see in the political world when that direction becomes fuzzy, that the natives become restless. The team becomes unsettled. The foster collaboration is a really important part of being part of a team and being a leader. That there will inevitably be some kind of conflict. Conflict can be personal, philosophical, intellectual, emotional. All those types of conflicts can come about. But when you set an environment of cooperation and open-mindedness, I think you can allow those ideas to come to the surface and be wrestled with and not be inhibited for the group to move forward in the right direction. Motivated achievement, and we're going to talk about this a little later on, but as a coach, you're going to set standards of performance and excellence. And in order for that to happen, you really have to have people, again, see a clear goal, but more importantly, have a passion and an interest in achieving that goal. There's nothing more deflating than to say, take that hill and everybody says, my feet hurt. You know, they don't feel as though that's the goal they want to go. And Steve, I'm going to offer you all of my support and insight, because leading the charge is what's going to be really key for you. I think when we say that we can't do it all ourselves, but how do we persuade others to be part of our team? And so that when the end result, you accomplish that direction, we can say, we did it. Not that I did it or I led you. We did it together. So some fundamentals of coaching. Again, have some clearly defined tasks and roles. And I would really focus, my experience has always said, focus on the task at hand. Everybody can have varying roles, and things are going to happen in life that will take some of your key players out of those roles. That doesn't mean the task falls to the wayside. The tasks still need to be done. So just because, Allison, you may be vice president of membership, or that you were the secretary for your group, or you're the proprietor, and you had nothing to do with print ads. Well, the person who's doing your print ads has to go on maternity leave. You need to make sure that task gets done. And so it is with a coach to have that big picture idea and that philosophy to make sure that they know what people are supposed to do. You can be empowered by knowing the direction and the tasks that are at hand. The passion comes in, why are you doing it? Again, we say, take that hill. My feet hurt. But there's a pot of gold there. Oh, they don't hurt that much. Right? Why are you doing what you're doing? And I think that's a question we need to ask ourselves continually. To question ourselves, question our team, question the people, our customers. Why do you need this? You know, in a subtle manner. But sometimes they need it just for some emotional appeasement. I would hope that the direction we're going is that it will further and uplift the overall environment and people who are involved. Right? But it's really interesting to find out what are those triggers to get you to understand why we're doing something as a group. This is where the rubber meets the road. How are we supposed to do it? It's like, I bought in, my feet hurt, but I want that goal. How are we going to get it? Because I can barely make it. Or I don't think we're equipped to get there. You know, I have no experience as a lieutenant governor of marketing. You know, I've seen others before me try it and they fell short. Well, the how really comes in to play when we open it up to all the ideas that people have, and you foster that collaboration to vet them, right? To prioritize them, to give some kind of risk along with the timetable in which you have. And sometimes that may come in terms of shaping your journey. I had a conversation with your Toastmaster boss, Todd Henry, earlier, and some things may not get accomplished in the time period that we're charged with. That doesn't mean that the goal of getting everybody involved is not worthwhile. How to do it really calls for a team effort in seeing all those different areas. Now, sometimes the how will call for a one-person job. If your vision is clear and you know Steve Jobs was great at this. He was singularly in charge of making sure that Apple was going to be the universally used personal computing effort. And he really didn't care about other people's opinions that were distractions from that goal. Okay? How well are you expected to do it? Again, as a coach, you give that atmosphere, you give that support to the team to understand that you have their back. That's what support is all about. That we're going to give our full effort. I'm going to help you up that hill with all your tired feet because I know that when we get there, it'll be worth the effort. And leaving no one behind, having everyone part of that group makes the journey so much enriching for satisfying you to the destination. I stated earlier that you are also given the charge of setting expectations. So a coach is always checking in to the milestones that you're to make along with the progress. So we just don't have eternity to get things done. The woulda, shoulda, coulda is a question that people go to the grave with. And if you're willing to accept that, that's okay. I think leaders who are successful, particularly servant leaders, which what we strive to have in Toastmasters, says that we can be honest with ourselves, look at the man in the mirror, the woman in the mirror, but then have that respect and integrity to share that with the rest of the team. I think showing that you're vulnerable and you're open-minded to ideas really gives you credibility as a coach. So the coach's responsibility is to set high but achievable expectations. I've been a coach in a lot of different areas. I've not coached kids soccer, but I actually coached several co-ed soccer teams and men's soccer teams. I've coached people in certain tournaments and a lot of other things in terms of trying to accomplish a goal. And I have to tell you that it is really painful when the goal is the bottom of the floor. When I first took over my first soccer team, we were a ragtag bunch, and the guy who got us organized just said, "Hey, I just want to go out and have fun." It was no fun getting beat 7-0. You know, it was no fun being out there and feeling as though that losing was inevitable, but being embarrassed was even worse. And so you want to set the expectations so that people truly find whatever is their potential and are reaching that. And each iteration, they're coming to another level of what their potential is. And that'll be something I want to share with you, Steve, in terms of getting other people on your team. You're going to provide guidance to your team members. Again, you have a direction, you have a vision of where you want to go. If you fine-tune how to get there, and again, be open-minded to other ideas, but how you get there will certainly make it more efficient and time-based to help you. But you want to give your team members guidance, and in all different areas, not just in terms of getting the task done, but how do they feel about it? Are they equipped? Do they have enough time? Do they have enough support? And that segues into offering your support, and it doesn't necessarily have to be in terms of consoling them and everything else. You offer people support by giving them the tools. You offer people support by giving them someone other than yourself who is knowledgeable and effective in certain tasks that they need help in. You take it upon yourself to do some research to help them out. And again, having that openness to have this discussion. Because nothing's worse than, and I've seen this in Toastmasters, to have someone on your team who really needs guidance and they disappear. We hear the proverbial, "I have family issues." Well, we all have family issues, and I think if you're part of any family organization, you realize there's dysfunction at any point in time. So, to realize that you're still being called to achieve a certain goal and be accountable and have some integrity is really important. So offering support is a little different than giving advice. Your support, I think, means you're giving them the emotional backing and confidence, as you talked about. You want to give them confidence to say, yes, you can do it. The advice is, this is how you do it. This is how you do it. And those two can be melded together. It can be to say, I know you can do it because I saw Justin do it. And I'd like you to spend an afternoon with Justin on how he got it done and learn what his tool set is. Or go to Wikipedia and look this up. Go Google these things up. Practice a certain technique, whatever that may be. And what we do here in Toastmasters, and Maria, I hope you get this in waves coming back, is provide feedback. What I love about being part of this club and all of Toastmasters is that giving constructive feedback is one of our base tenets. This is something that we do for each other. And we encourage each other, obviously, to get to that goal. So 5 effective steps of coaching is, again, you compare your expectations with the standards of performance. You meet with each team member. I know when Randy was working with TLI, he struggled with, at some point in time, making sure that he knew everybody on his team what they were doing. And got some feedback on that in making it. And we may not always do that the first go around. But a good coach as a leader recognizes that and offers people a chance to get their side of the story told. You want to ask for acknowledgement. I think that goes to the dimension of leadership of appreciation. Everybody wants to have some form of appreciation. Maybe not everybody wants it in public, and some people need the spotlight. Eddie Cater's not here. But it's a solution-based experience. That's what the end result is really all about. We talk about the journey, but it's the solutions that we really find ourselves being changed and being able to reflect on what the experience is all about. I think that when we focus on those and not necessarily the small task, but the big solution, the big picture, then the team says we accomplished the goal. And always, 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 from the minutest detail to, again, the biggest task, is the follow-up. It's one of those things that people make promises, and then, as you had said, you met some people, and the follow-up wasn't there. And that shows that you're invested in the effort as much as anybody else. So I'm just going to go through these things first. You talk with people, you don't talk down to them. You're vulnerable, you admit when you make a mistake. And keep it as simple as possible. I was reminded by world champion public speaking Dana Lamont, who you may not know, he's been legally blind for a long, long time. But he has a master's in math and he's an administrative judge. He has a law degree. But he said, as a blind person, he wants to be effective in 2 different ways. He wants to be able to say something so that anybody in the room who's blind can hear him, and it's simple enough for a 7-year-old to understand. You put those 2 elements together, I think you really have good conversation of collaboration. Listen, I mean, we're here to talk about being good public speakers, but, and I do say but, you get better by listening to others. I'm so honored and uplifted when I come to this club because I hear so many good ideas that you guys just don't know how I use them in other aspects of my life. And if I don't, I will start selling you royalty checks at some point. Keep it short and specific. Right? Don't overwhelm people with the details. If they're simple enough, they'll get it. And your sincerity. You can't, they say fake it till you make it, but that only carries you but so far. I really don't recommend that. If you're going to be vulnerable and going to be honest, you need to admit what you do not know, and Ken did that today. And Ken, I want to offer you my support to help you become knowledgeable so that you don't repeat that, okay? That you feel confident, and that it's a real simple process. It's not magic by any means, but in all sincerity, you kept it real. We appreciate that. And keep it punctual, something I'm not doing right now, but we'll get there. The benefits of coaching are, again, you're developing high morale, you empower people, and that's what I really believe is the key to having a successful team. That they have both the emotional uplift and passion and the technical toolbox to get things done. You develop people, as Steve was saying, that wherever they're at, and I think something that Eddie is working on documentation management. Everybody can use that. Anybody can use that. And all in all, despite what Charles Barkley says, you are a role model. Everybody is watching you. They may not they may not let you know they're paying attention. And if you're trying to be inconspicuous, they see that as well. But as a leader, you set the example, you set the tone for excellence. And with that, the journey becomes something that you provide so that the destination is enriched by the overall effort. Mr. Toastmaster. Brief Q&A?
Brief Q&A, how about, what, 2 minutes?
Yeah, how much time did I take?
You took 20 minutes and 24
Wow,
seconds, so you
man.
kind of ate up your Q&A time.
I'll take one question from Marie.
Did you have butterflies standing up there doing this still?
In all honesty, a little bit, but
So
not
that
much.
doesn't go away?
No.
Completely.
I have more shame in not being punctual. One question, anybody? Joe?
I was really glad that you brought up the high expectations but also achievable ones in your coaching thing. What I was wondering was, at what point do you realize a goal, or what techniques would you give to realize that a goal might have been too high or too unachievable? Do you take feedback from your team, or what other ways would one do that?
Yeah, I think when you realize that the deadlines, the time limits keep getting pushed further and further out, I think that becomes something. Or when you do cost-benefit analysis, which is something that we hear this all the time in projects, cost overruns. So you have to be able to weigh those instances in there. And the last thing I would always say is, if there's so much emotional turmoil that the team becomes dysfunctional, then you really realize that you're off track. So those are my 3.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Terry. Yeah, evaluation, but let's take a minute to